I felt good. Felt good to go out there and compete against some other jerseys. Get tired of facing your own guys after a while, so it's good to get out there and compete.
Carlos said he wanted you to get 4-ups and throw about 55 pitches. It seems like you hit everything that you wanted to hit. I mean, did you feel as good as the results seemed to be?
Yeah, I felt pretty good out there. Yeah, I mean, it was, I think I ended up at 56 pitches, 1 in 55, so I guess if I could have been one more pitch efficient, it would have been nice. But, no, I'm comfortable where I'm at right now.
To be in this form, able to throw 4 innings first start of the spring, what's the key behind that? How do you come into camp ready to go to that extent?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I didn't really shut down very long. I just I felt so good at the end of last season, I wanted to just keep my arm moving. Not necessarily still throwing bullpens full time in the off season, but I kept my arm moving for a while. Might have taken about a week off after the season and just kept throwing, and it allowed me to ramp up a little bit faster and pace myself. Just take more time doing it as well.
You say you kept your arm moving. What exactly were you doing? I mean, you were playing catch, but like, what specifically was it? Different, lengths, or how were you able to keep things going but still getting sort of a break and rest?
Yeah, it was just kind of athletic catch. Trying to stay athletic, not really worrying about how hard I'm throwing it, just getting it to the target, really. And it was probably 60 to 90 feet pretty much every day, just kind of getting it out there. I'd throw the football here and there and just kind of mix it up and try to stay athletic.
What are your expectations for the tournament for yourself? How much do you expect to throw, and do you have any sense of that yet?
I'm expecting to throw at least twice. I believe it will be in a piggyback roll, and kind of similar to what my pitch count was today. But yeah, I mean, I think expectation-wise, I think it's just I don't have a ton of expectations on what I'm going to go out there and do, but I'm just super excited to go do it.
When do you get out of here?
Sunday.
You go to Arizona first?
Yep.
Houston?
Arizona for a couple exhibition games, and then Houston.
So you throw a bullpen, I'm guessing, before you leave?
Yeah.
How much are you looking forward to it?
I'm really pumped.
Yeah.
I'm super fired up. The group of guys were rolling out there, and then just getting to be a part of that clubhouse, and then also wearing USA across the jersey is pretty special.
To go from where you were last year in the minors and now the debut last year and now to be in the WBC, what has that journey been like for that all to happen pretty quickly, it seems?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super blessed to just get the opportunity to go out there. A lot of guys would love to get to do what I'm getting to do, and for me to get it this early in my career, I'm super excited for, and I'm just happy to go out there and compete and do what I do.
Changeup looked pretty sharp. Is it a matter of using it once you're already ahead in the count?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get to where I use it in any count. I'm just constantly building confidence with it. It's one of those pitches where it's a weird feel pitch to where I either have it or I don't. So I try to establish it as early as possible today. And then it is the spring still, so I'm trying to work on it as much as I can.
That first inning, having a guy on second after the wild pitch, I mean, I know that's not ideal, but being able to sort of like work with a runner on base, is that beneficial at all at this point in your progression? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, anytime you can practice the run game, and even guys with scoring position, because a lot of hitters' approaches change with guys in scoring position, so being able to work out of situations like that, not that I intentionally threw a wild pitch to get a guy in scoring position, but it's definitely good to get those reps early.
This is your first chance to play behind McLean in a game setting. What were your impressions of him, and what have they been all spring?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a really good fastball. He's got a 4-seam and a 2-seam, and it seems like he has a good idea of how to use all of his weapons, which is fun, fun to play behind. He's got a good sinker, so I'm sure he's going to get a lot of ground balls, but a lot of strikeouts today and kept guys off balance, so it was fun to play behind.
How have you felt at the plate? I know obviously today the results were good. Is that something that you felt coming as camp has gone on here?
Yeah, I mean, spring training is always about just kind of getting your timing, being able to handle anybody's fastball, and I'm still working towards those things. Just trying to use the big part of the field and not pull off the baseball, and I was able to do that a couple times today.
Where do you feel like your timing is right now?
Not too far off. I think I have 8 at bats. We did take some lives, but I do feel like the intensity of the game at bats is really like how we prepare. So it's always fun to get the game at bats, and as we get deeper into spring training, start playing back-to-back games, and you have a better chance to get your timing down. So I'm looking forward to that.
I know you're trying to get back to where you were offensively a couple of years ago. Sometimes when guys get to a new environment, new eyes on them, new coaching staff, that can help. Have you sensed any of that? Have there been any breakthroughs or developments that you've seen since being here that you think are going to carry over?
Yeah, I think in terms of the coaching staff, our hitting coaches work extremely hard to make sure we can be at our best. And they're looking at, whenever I was at my best, how can we get back to that? And they're working relentlessly to do that. And their feedback has been awesome so far. I think talking to players in this clubhouse who have been very successful throughout their career. You talk about a guy like Juan Soto, Bo Bichette, Francisco Lindor, the list goes on of guys you can kind of get feedback from, and those conversations are going to happen all year. So it's a good place to be as a hitter.
What have your impressions been so far of some of the shortstops that you've worked with, and Ronnie Mauricio today?
Yeah, Ronnie's looking great. I mean, communication's great. You always have to be talking as a second base shortstop combination, and I feel like our positioning was solid. So as long as we're taking away as many hits as we can, I think we'll all be happy.
Francisco's going to start doing some field work tomorrow, I believe. You guys going to be able to start building some chemistry, a little extra work on the side?
Yeah, he told me he was going to be out here doing something, so it sounds like his hand is feeling pretty good. I know that's his catching hand, and I'm looking forward to seeing that because he is one of the best in the game, and he's a person I can learn from on the defensive side as well, so I'm excited for him.
How important is that to be able to build that middle infield chemistry before opening day, the two of you?
It is. I mean, I think both of us are veteran players, so we've played a lot of baseball in our careers. But playing together and just getting a feel for how it is to communicate and where what balls I can get to, what balls he can get to, and make sure we're standing in the right places is something we'll try and do as quickly as we possibly can.
When you do have two veterans like that, how nice is it when you do have two veterans whose instincts can just take over at times?
That is part of the game. It's always going to be number one, I think. But you put that together with Kai Correa and Tim Leeper and the coaches that we have on the defensive side, I think it's going to be a good combination.
What did you like about Nolan today?
Well, there's a lot to like. First time out there facing another team, and it seems like everything was working out of the gate. The velo was there, but the movement. He's got that ability to manipulate the baseball, that two-seam, and then when you see him throw changes right on right, is pretty impressive. He got a couple of strikeouts with that pitch, and just another weapon there. A lot of times guys are going to jump on that fastball, the 97, 98. There's going to be times where teams are going to be sitting on that breaking ball, whether it's the slider or the sweeper. But now he's got that changeup that not only he can throw to lefties, but right-handed hitters. That's just pretty impressive.
What have you seen from Marcus at the plate so
far? He's a good hitter. First of all, I think it starts with him being healthy. When he's healthy, we know there's a lot of things that he can do, not only defensively but offensively. There's some adjustments there with his posture that allows him to, that swing path. It was good for him to put one and hit one out of the ballpark. Again, it's early, but the biggest thing for us is just that he's healthy.
What have you been told about how much Nolan will pitch in the World Baseball Classic?
How much do I know?
What his role is and how much?
Yeah, so all we know, he's probably going to be coming as a piggyback guy. Following, they got so many guys there, and with so many limitations and pitch counts and things like that. He's probably going to come clean innings. That's for sure. That we know. And the biggest thing is that he continues to get his pitch count up. It's not going to be when he pitches. It's not going to be like a 1 inning or 2 inning out of the bullpen type deal. It's making sure that he gets his pitch count up. So
the leap that he's made since last spring, that Nolan has made from minor leaguer to pitching for you at the end of last year, now being part of the WBC, what do you make of that trajectory that he's been on?
It's just impressive. It goes to show you how talented he is, but his ability to handle so much that is being thrown at him. You go back to what he went through at the end of last year, pretty much stepping up and be the guy in that rotation. And then, not right after that, he's getting the news that he's playing for Team USA, and he's one of the guys. That's a lot, And then you see him doing what he's doing now in spring training, and he's just pretty impressive.
He seems to sort of thrive, with all of that. That's a difficult situation. It's sort of a fast rise, but he seems to just like kind of take it in
If
stride.
anybody can handle is him. You know, he's wired for it. You know, this guy is different. He's a competitor. This is not only a guy that in college played football, but he was a two-way player. Like, he's built differently. I mean, that's as simple as that. And I don't think any moment is too big for him, or any stage.
Do you think he's the best athlete on the team?
Oof, we got some really good athletes, you know. But for a pitcher, he's pretty impressive.
Shots fired. Did anyone beat Jeff McNeil's record at pop stroke?
I don't know about anybody beating that record, but there were some pretty good players there. Peterson being one of them.
Everybody else good?
Everybody else good.